Hey, how's everybody doing? This is Anthony Murray. Listen, before we get too far off, you need to read this. All right, that's enough of that. Hey, how's everybody doing? I trust the Lord, all is well. I trust that you guys are having a great old time. I want to remind you that when you have opportunity and you're on Facebook or YouTube, send up those stars, okay? We need it. Send up those stars. Make sure that you do that now. All right, now, one last thing I want to invite you to do, encourage you to do. I want you to invite invite your friends, right? Invite your friends, invite your family. All right. This is where they could go. They could go right there. Um, Man, it's going to be a great show. It's going to be really good. I have something special for you guys, and I believe you are going to be blessed. Okay? So invite them. All right? Make sure you invite them. Invite them. Make sure you do that now. Invite your friends. All right. So, what are we talking about today? Today, we're talking about the ingredients to success. If you want to be successful in business, there's some things you've got to do. I mean, these are must do's. These are not maybe do's. Maybe I could do this. Maybe I could get away with this. No, these are things you absolutely must do. Okay. Um, there's no other way for me to say it. No other way for me to say it. All right. You've got to do this. If you don't do it, well, 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 you could be in for a hard time. But if you do these things, life could be much easier, much easier. So I want to encourage you to do this and try to remember that. And in some cases, um, there's not a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 step type thing. All right, that's not the issue. But there's things that we must do if we're going to be successful. There's no way around it. There's no question about it. There's things we must do. All right. So what am I doing? I am making sure that somebody receives something. All right. So anyway, what types of things is it that we must do? What is it that we must, without question, do? When you're starting a business, like anything else, it takes number one, planning. That's the first thing. Planning. But you will not be able to plan anything without vision. Vision is critical. Vision is extremely important. extremely important. I can't say it enough. There's a lot of people that start a lot of things and they don't really have a plan. And the reason they don't have a plan is because they never wrote down their vision. If you want to be successful in business, you must write down your vision. You have to. Now, you could try to keep it up here and don't throw it out of your mind, but you want to write it down. You want to write down every detail that you could possibly think of concerning your vision. Every single detail, you want to write it down. All right. Whether you got that vision in a dream, whether you got that vision from listening to somebody, whether you got that, the vision really comes from the heart, right? Vision comes from the heart. That's where it comes from. Vision comes from the heart. All right, I'm going to say that again. Vision comes from the heart. All right. Now, when someone has a vision, and even though it may seem like a dream, it may seem like something they just thought of. Well, in essence, that's what it is, right? They thought of it. It started as a thought. It started as a thought. Now, I'm spending a lot of time on this because this is important. It's important for you and I to have vision. If you're going to be successful in business, you must have vision. Now, I'm going to come back to that in a couple of minutes. I want to give you the second thing that you must have. From your vision, you're going to extract plans or goals. What I did and what I've learned is you write down what your objective is. That's part of your vision. Write down your objective. After you've written that down, then you want to write down how you're going to achieve that objective. Now, your objective is your vision. That's what it is. All right, you're not going to get away from that. Your objective is your vision. You don't want to get away from that. Trust me, you do not want to get away from your vision. Now listen to me. You're going to have times during that period of vision, of preparation, where you're going to get frustrated. So I'm going to tell you what you're going to go through. So you could expect it, okay? But I want to deal with the first thing first. First things first, all right? You need to write that down. First things first. Vision. Write down your vision. Now, you are like me, I don't like to write. All right, my writing is horrible. What I will do though, I'll type it out. I type it out. I can type. Now, I remember when I was coming up in school, they used to teach typing. and we had to, I believe it was 35 words a minute, and that's how you passed the course. You had to have at least be able to type 35 words a minute. I don't even know if they're offering typing in school anymore. I don't know. But you could learn it even if they're not. What you do, you go buy yourself a computer or a typewriter and go on the internet, and then it tell you how to position your fingers and how that works. All right. So you have a vision. All right. Visions can be very exciting, right? They're very exciting. You're going to share that vision with somebody. Be careful, though, who you share it with, because the person you share it with, if they're not seeing what you see, and trust me, most people will not see what you see, they will talk you out of your vision. If you're not careful, thank you, David. We appreciate you, brother. If you're not careful who you share your vision with, they will talk you out of your vision. So you have to guard your vision, but you need somebody that you can bounce things off of. But first things first, write down your vision. What's our topic today is ingredients to success. Write down your vision. Once you've done that, you need to review it multiple times. Now, let me tell you something very important about pursuing your vision. It is a marathon and not a sprint race. You understand what I'm saying? This is something that you're not going to sprint. Yes, some people seem like they sprint to success, while others of us, it's a marathon. In other words, you have to give it time to develop. So every vision has stages. All right, we're talking about ingredients for or to success. So I don't know what your vision is for life. Whether you believe you are born in this world to be a doctor, a book writer, a play script writer, whatever it is, all right, excuse me, whatever it is that you were put on this earth to do, that's up to you. That's between you and God, right? All right. Now, you need to talk to people. Once you got that vision written down, all right, don't worry about cost yet. Don't worry about how much money is it going to cost me? How much money? Don't worry about that yet. It's too soon for that. Too soon. All right. You write that vision down. I want you to learn what you're going to run into first before we even get into the planning stage. All right. You have that vision. It means the world to you. You share it with your close friend. You share it with a family member. You share it with whoever, right? Whoever you share it with. Hey, I appreciate y'all being on. Thank you so much. All right, now look, that vision was given to you. It wasn't given to everybody else. It was given to you. Now, other people may have some similar ideas, but the brainiac behind behind the vision is you. Write it down, guard it, protect it. Be careful who you share it with. Now, depending on what your vision is, you may have to develop a team. That takes time. That takes time. You got to get people that's going to be trustworthy, people that won't try to undermine you, people that will not try to steal your vision. It happens. That's why once you get that vision written down, let's say it's an invention. You know, one of the first things you need to do, man, you need to get that thing protected. Get it copyrighted or get it patented, whatever you have to do. Get it protected. Now, one of the sure ways you could start that, and this will only hold but for so long, you write that vision down, type it out, and mail it to yourself. Why do you want to do that? Do that before you share it with anybody. Write it down, type it out, whatever, then mail it to yourself. Why? Why? This is, hey, look, you better pay attention. Why do you want to do that? Because that proves it was your baby. All right? It will have a date. And don't open the envelope. Keep it sealed. Only time you want to open it is if somebody says, or they try to challenge you. Someone tries to challenge you and say, hey, that was my idea. You make sure you date that letter that you put, or that plan. Make sure you date it when you put it in that envelope. All right? And when it comes back to you, put that baby somewhere safe. All right. So what are the things that you're going to run into? You're going to run into discouragement. It's natural. You're going to run into frustration. You're going to get frustrated. It's going to, hey, look, if you're a mother, then you understand patience better than us men, because you had to be patient bearing children. What do? We don't bear children. We just help make children, right? We just help make children. Okay. All right. Enough of that. So you're going to get frustrated. So you have to really protect yourself, right? You have to really have a made up mind. Now, it's always good to have a circle of influence or people that you can trust. But don't you talk to anybody until you do first things first. First things first. First things first. Write that vision down, type it out, mail a copy of it, not the original. Mail a copy of it to yourself. Or if you want to mail the original, fine. Just make sure you have it written down somewhere else. All right. Now, the best way to mail it to yourself is certified. Hey, look, I'm talking about guarding and protecting your vision. Your vision could be worth literally millions of dollars. Millions, maybe even billions. You have an idea. A phone. You know, my wife don't want me on her team. My wife does not want me on her team because my artwork, when it comes to Pictionary, is horrible. It's horrible, man. So anyway, if you, in other words, I'm telling you, put as much detail in that envelope, pictures, drawings, as much detail as possible. Mail it to yourself certified. Okay. Now, there will be people, depending on who you talk to, that will try to change your vision, so you have to guard it. Because now they want to get in on it. They want to get in on it. All right, they want a piece of the pie. So you have to really be careful. All right? Really be careful. Let's go to step number 2. Step number 2. All right, no, all right. Before we get to step number 2, there's going to be times you're going to have to encourage yourself. All right, because we're talking about a long, drawn-out process. All right, you want to be a book writer, an author, a publicist. You have designs for T-shirts. You have designs for hats. All right. Listen, before you start making hats and T-shirts for everybody, and it's your design, you better get that thing protected. Now, let me encourage you on something not to do. If you have a design, do not send it to some place like Vistaprint unless you already have it copyrighted. Why? Because places like that will take ownership of the design. They will take ownership of the design. And then when you want that, use that design, you only can get it through them. Talking from experience, folks. Okay? So make sure you get that copyrighted, protected, patent, whatever you have to do before you use a company to make that design for you, especially with clothing. Okay? Make sure you get that done. Make sure you protect yourself. You have a family, then you're protecting your family as well. Step number 2, because we're running, I didn't realize time is running so fast here. I'm typing as I'm talking to you. I want to invite you guys to something, and I want to make sure I don't forget. I want to make sure I don't forget. All right. All right. Now, where was I? Okay. So after you've done that part, you've typed it up, you want to critique. All right. When you critique, you're going to speak to probably some professionals, somebody that you could trust. You know, the Better Business Bureau have people that they would recommend that would not get involved with stealing your idea. So that may be one way that you could go. That may be one way that you could go. Let's keep going. Your plan. When you're making a plan for success, when we're talking about ingredients to success, when you're making your plans, you want to write them down in bullet points. So what I like to do is to write a paragraph of my plan, and then from my plan, I'm going to make some bullet points. And in my bullet points, I'm doing step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, so forth and so on. Underneath each bullet point, I put more bullet points related to that point so I can make sure that I'm covering all my bases. All right, so I opened up an insurance office. It took me 2 years. What I did was, oh, wait a minute, now, actually, I got back into the insurance industry in 2018. I opened up my insurance office in 2021. So let me see, 18, 19, 20, 21, 4 years. But for 2 years, I was in the planning stage of where I wanted my office. I had to shop around. Man, I drove all over the place. I'm in Georgia, so I drove between where I live into South Carolina, where I live, into Jacksonville area. I drove various places to find out which place is going to be the best place to open up this office. All right. So there's something about opening up a business office that is extremely important. You ready for this? I'm going to give you one word: location. Location. When you're opening up an office and you're opening up the type of office that you're expecting people to visit, you need to make sure that you have good location. You need location. Location, yeah. You got to make sure you have a good So my office, as you see it going across the bottom, man, I'm in prime real estate. I'm right on the main road where there's an average, I don't know, I would say an average of maybe 10,000 cars a day that passes by the office, maybe more. And then my office is in the front of the building. All right. So planning. When you're planning, you want to make sure that you're taking the time to write down these bullet points. Now, let me tell you something that's very critical in the planning. Everything has to be adjustable. You have to be willing to critique your plans. You must be willing to critique. You're going to go through some emotional roller coaster rides when you're in the planning stage for success. Don't be afraid to try something and fail at it. If you fail at it, congratulations. You just found one more thing not to do. Or you found one thing that you need to critique. Make some a little adjustments. I used to be a saxophone player. I guess I could still play a little bit, right? But there's times I had to adjust the mouthpiece or the reed. Sometimes I have to adjust the keys on the saxophone. All right. So you have to be willing to adjust things. Adjust. Make adjustments. Make adjustments. Be willing to make adjustments. If you don't make it, hey, fail. Most people that don't write down their plan, that don't stick with their plan or make adjustments to their plan, they're still planning. They're just planning to fail. And they don't realize it. So I'm giving you some ingredients to success. So when you're making these plans, you're going to have goals. You have to. So you have a plan. Within your plan, there has to be goals. GOALS. You must have goals. You need short-range goals that are achievable. You need mid-range goals that's just out of your reach, but still achievable. Then you need long-range goals that are so far off, it may seem like it'll take a miracle. That's all right. Let me give you a very critical ingredient to success. You ready? You ready? Patience. Oh, yeah. Oh, suke now. You gotta be patient. There's a price that you're going to pay when it comes to success. And you got to pay the price of patience. Now, success is not always geared to an invention or a book. It could also be for a job, right? For a job. So when you're looking at a job, you see what they have, or they've given you the job description. All right, that's their plan. That's their vision. Now you have to implement that thing into 8 hours or 10 hours or whatever amount of hours you work, right? So what about when you're doing your own thing? It's going to take more time when you're doing your own thing, right? So your vision, write it down, make it plain. Make it plain. If you need partners, you will find out in the process of time. See, that vision, you're the vision child. But in the process of time, that thing may grow so that it's only for you, but you need help. So, or you may need financial help. So financial help doesn't always mean that you need to get an investor, someone personal to invest money. Sometimes you could just go to the bank and borrow the money and they become your investor. And they are unbiased, all right, about whatever it is that you may need the money for. In some cases, and then again, other cases, they're going to ask you for detail, all right? So you're going to borrow money to start that business. What is it that they need to see? A business plan, a schedule. They need to know what you're going to be doing. What do you need this money for? Right? All right. So, vision, planning. When you're planning, you have to be willing to make adjustments. You have to be willing to make adjustments. Let's go to point number 3. Point number 3, and I'm gonna give you these points so you could write them down. Point number 3 is determination. You have to be like a bulldog or a pet bull. All right, a bulldog, a pit bull. All right, determination. That's how you got to be. All right. Vision, planning, determination. All right. Now that's critical. That's going. I'm gonna add to this in a minute. But if you're not determined, then when it gets hard, and I'm telling you, when it comes to doing your own thing, it gets difficult. It gets frustrating. It gets aggravating. It's like today, especially now, look, when it comes to, you need to hire a secretary. Like eventually I'm going to need an administrative assistant, right? According to some folks, I need one now, but I'm trying to wait. You can't do it all by yourself. I know I can't. So quite often I get my wife to help me, and she'll help me out with some administrative things. I actually had somebody come in to help set up my office. This is part of the planning, folks. This is part of the planning, because you have to have a flow. You have to have a flow. So ingredients to success: vision, planning, determination. All right, determination. You have to be like a boxer. You ever see I like boxing. I like boxing. You know, one of the things that happen with boxers quite often, they get knocked down. They get knocked down. Now, let me tell you what they do if they're not knocked out. You don't want to get knocked out. Boxers get knocked down, but they find a way to get back up. You have to be determined. That's why you make a plan, you set goals, and you have 3 different ranges in your goals. So when failure happens, remember I said you have to make adjustments. When failure happens, and it happens. You ever watch Shark Tank? You ever see them turn people down? The organization I believe to, we had Damon, whatever his last name is, the guy that invented FUBU. We had him as a speaker at one of our conventions, and he was telling us that in Shark Tank, what we see is the diluted or cut down version. He said they actually see dozens, or I don't know how many people, but they see people for hours a day. And then they streamline it down to television, to where we see what, maybe 10 people when they've seen maybe 100 people. All right. The amount of people that come on that show, you said a bunch of them come on and they fail. They fail because the vision is not going to die. The vision is going to stay there. But the plans, the bullet points, they have to be adjusted from time to time. And I like when you watch that show, they critique people and they tell them why they would jump in on their investment and why they won't. We appreciate that, David and Habib. Thank you so much for liking this platform. All right, this is important. Now, you know, America and every other country was able to be developed, or it was developed because of dreams, because of vision, because of goals, because somebody didn't give up. All right, that's very, very important. All right, guys. Hey, in the comment section, I just put a Zoom every Sunday. Our church has a Zoom, and every Wednesday. So if you're ever interested in being part of our Bible study, we have a roundtable Bible discussion on Wednesday. Man, it's off the chain. It's off the chain. And Sunday we have a platform where we're on Zoom at 11 a.m. 11 a.m. on Sunday and 7 p.m. on Wednesday. But getting back to this, he was sharing how some people, they just give up. They get critiqued, and we don't see it all. And what is the critiquing? That's professional advice from people who are multi-millionaires. And some people never make the adjustment, while others make the adjustment and actually come back on the show a year or so later. Hey, man, listen. You have a vision. Don't throw it out with the dirty bathwater. Just critique it. All right, now you have those plans. You must set goals. All right, you have your plans. Now you set goals to achieve those. Those plans are to help you achieve those goals. And then you gotta be determined. You have to have determination. You have to. Now, when it's the right moment, you can test the market with whatever it is. If it's an invention, if it's a business, you can test the market, right? You can test the market. Okay, this is very, very important. As an author, I wrote a book. It's called The Power of the Declaration. I wrote a book. And there's one thing I didn't do that I wish I would have done that I didn't do. I should have had a book signing introducing my book. Didn't do it. Is it too late? No, it's not too late. It's not. Let me tell you something. I don't care how old your vision is. It's never too late. I still have publishers calling me wanting to rewrite or republish the book. And I'm like, wow, man, this thing is old now. They said it doesn't matter. We'll just give it a new cover. I said, okay. And they said you can make whatever critique or whatever adjustments you want to that you may have thought of. You can add to it if you want. You can take. I'm listening to these people. And I'm saying, wow, this is interesting. Very interesting. All right. So what I want to do is see if you guys have any questions. You could type them in the comments, and I'll be more than happy to try to answer them for you. All right. So if you have any questions, type them in the comments, and let's make this as much of a discussion as possible. Okay. All right. Any questions? Just write them in there, and I'll try to answer. Now, look, I don't have all the answers, but I do have some. I do have some. All right. I want to encourage you, never give up. Whatever it is, whatever it is. Remember, I was telling you about the Zoom. All right. Hey, here it is right here. Here it is right here. All right. This is my Zoom right here. Okay. If you ever want to be with us some Sunday at 11 a.m., that's it right there. That's it right there. Okay. And I'm telling you, man, it's off the chain. You will enjoy it. All right. So let's do a quick recap of what we discussed so far. All right. And then it's just about time for me to call it a day. All right. We're going to do a quick recap as soon as this thing unfreezes. Okay. We talked about vision, writing it down, making it plain. Write it down. Now, we in that we talked about emotional things that you will run into: discouragement, fear, anger, frustration, aggravation. Don't you're going to second guess yourself. Don't. That's why you've got to write it down. You've got to write it down. Okay? And then from there, you want to be careful who you share your vision with. We discussed that. Second thing we pointed out was planning. Planning is going to tie into your goals. That's very important. You must walk out your vision. In other words, you have to do it. You can't just talk about it. Don't be just don't be oh man, I got this idea. Well, do something about it. Do something about it. All right. In the planning stage, your goals are going to be implemented. Now you have to plan how to achieve those goals. Remember, we talked about short range goals, mid range goals, long range goals. That's part of the planning stage. And then the third thing we talked about is determination. Determination. You must be determined to see this thing through. Because listen, you're going to fail. You're going to mess up. Everybody does. So what? Get over it. Don't let it kill the vision. You know how many times who was it? George Washington Carver. I believe it was 100 or so times. Maybe more, maybe less. You could look it up. That man failed. He failed so much. He didn't give up. You should read his story. And then one day he just asked, then one day it was the peanut. And from that peanut, the amount of things that this man have invented, from hair treatment to food all right, to different oils. Man, this guy came up with all kind of stuff. Why? Because he was determined. Failure was not an option. You hear me? Failure was not an option. Hey guys, if you need to reach out to me, you want to call me directly, here's my number, there's my email. All right, there's my number and my email. I would love to hear from you. If you have questions you don't want to ask in the comments section, no problem. You could call me directly. I answer my phone. All right. If you can't, you don't want to call, you want to text because you want to stay anonymous. You don't want. You can text me. I don't care. It's all up to you. But if you really want to stay anonymous, best thing you could do is put comments in this comment section right here, and then that'll be it. So the 3 things we discussed, I'm gonna throw them up for you again, so you can see them. Vision, planning, determination. Hey guys, I had a blast today talking about this. We're talking about the ingredients to success. Make sure you write down whatever it is. And when fear is real, comes against you, or too much excitement comes, breathe. Take a moment, breathe. Breathe. Keep in mind, things take time. The old saying, Rome wasn't built overnight. Just remember that, all right? You are going to do some great things on your job or in your business. Oh, man, I'm excited for you. It's going to happen. Just be patient. Be patient. Hey, if you'd like to attend our financial literacy workshops, there's the information right there, scrolling across the bottom. Financial literacy workshops, they are free. They are online, okay? If you can't remember that, let me put my number back up there. And you want to get more information about the workshops, text me, email me, or call me, and we'll get that information out to you. All right. Hey, listen, it was my honor to be with you. I hope you guys will come back, be with us again. Check us out on YouTube. Share with everybody you could think of. Let them know what's going on. And we'll see you next time.
Like this.